that, you're partnering with trusted voices like Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk, and other influential hosts. Backed by millions of monthly listeners.
What's happening? Because of a real voice, man. I watch it all the time.
Real America's Voice rocks.
Real America's Voice gives sponsors the chance to put their product front and center, displayed on screen and highlighted by our anchors during exclusive segments and live events.
Head to freetrumpknife.com.
This means your brand becomes part of the conversation as it happens.
Secure your spot before it's too late.
Join us today and make your brand part of the news conversation that America's viewers trust. Real America's Voice, where your message is seen, heard, and remembered.
Ahead on American Sunrise this morning, President Trump says negotiations with Iran will resume today. A deal with Iran actually may be closer than ever. What's on the table, and could it bring an end to the conflict? That's straight ahead. Plus, the Senate Appropriations Committee advances a bill to avert a potential government shutdown next month. How is it going over in the House? Well, South Carolina Congresswoman Sherry Biggs weighing in on this Monday morning. And later, Texas Senate candidate James Talarico is drawing attention after citing the Bible while making the case for expanding government health care options. What are voters saying about his message? We're going to break it down. Plus, all the big stories making news this morning as American Sunrise starts on a Monday in August right now. Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. G. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. Let's bring in, fresh off the jury, David Brody, and he's in Washington, D.C. Also, Terrance Bates is in our Denver newsroom. Good morning to you,
Fresh
gentlemen.
off the weekend.
Fresh off the weekend. That's right. David Brody, I cannot wait to hear about your jury duty because we were all laying odds. We did not think you would get picked. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I didn't think I would get picked either. But I got to tell you, the bar to get into a jury, well, let me just say this. The vetting process is always a bit questionable. I mean, after all, do they not kind of Google my name and kind of see what I do? And maybe they might have an issue with me being on a jury. I'm in media, politics. No, they didn't know that. They didn't know that at all. So anyhow, there I was. I actually got picked. And you can't like raise your hand and say, hey, by the way, I'm a reporter or anchor, whatever you want to say. You can't do that. So you pledge an oath. And so when you pledge an oath, you have to answer the questions that they ask you. You can't bring up anything in the conversation. It's very interesting.
But you loved it.
It's an amazing time.
Yes, you loved it. Tell us why.
So many reasons. First of all, just to see 12 ordinary Americans, that you would meet at a Cracker Barrel or a 7-Eleven, actually in a room, which can be a bit scary if you think about it. That 12 people like this are deciding your fate. But when you have someone, this was a criminal trial. This was a first-degree assault case. When you have someone's fate in your hands in that sense, because it carries up to 25 years in jail, it weighs on you. All of your other, views and, conservative, liberal, forget that for a second. Literally, you see the facts and the law and you just go methodically through it. And the fact that you can be in a room with 12 Americans and literally deliberate and try to persuade, the whole thing is just a fascinating experiment in American jurisprudence. And I loved it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's one of the best experiences of my life. Wow. And I did not want to go to jury duty. I did not want to get picked for jury. Yeah. I was like, Lord, please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. No. And they picked me. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it was funny. They picked me. And then all of a sudden, after they pick you, it's like you think, okay, you have the night to recuperate and kind of start fresh in the morning. No. And all of a sudden, it's 2 PM and we're into opening arguments. I'm like, what's going on here? So it was
Were
just
you the
wild.
foreman? Were you also the jury
judge
foreman? No?
No, the judge
Okay.
the judge picks the foreman. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have picked myself. Of course I would have. But no, the judge picks the foreman. It was great. And by the way, 8 hours of deliberation. They brought us pizza, taxpayer-funded pizza, which I guess I paid for technically, and salad, and it was fantastic. But it was a little frustrating. I'll just say real quick, it was a hung jury. It was a hung jury, and that it was so frustrating. It was. I'm just going to say it. It was 11-1 guilty. It was. I can say it all now. It was 11-1 guilty. There's one person. Oh, it was so frustrating, so maddening. But we did our job. We did our job.
Absolutely. Dr. Gina and David, we'll talk more about this because I still have many more questions. By the way, Dr. Gina, the next time I get called for jury duty, I'm trying to get on the jury just for the pizza and salad based on what David just said. He said it was fantastic. So for that reason alone,
David,
I'm going to try to make the jury.
What would he have done if they served fried chicken, Terrance? David would have just been up a creek.
I would have walked out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a hung jury. They would have been, wait, I thought there were 12 in here. There's just 11. What's going on? 100%.
That's hilarious. So, hey, guys, let's get to the story that a lot of people are talking about this morning. President Trump saying that negotiations with Iran are going to resume today. He was apparently asked to hold off on attacking Iran over the weekend by Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and some other Gulf allies. In fact, he discussed the motivation for stopping the World War II-style attacks, as he described them, on Air Force One. Here's what he had to say.
Now what we're doing is we're talking to them in the form of a negotiation. It begins tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see if it's true. I'd love to do that, save a lot of lives, save a lot of unnecessary power, to be honest with you. It'll take many, many years to ever build it back. If it could, I don't think it would be even buildable back. So we had an attack that would be the biggest attack since World War II, and it would have been disastrous for them. And they didn't want us to do it. And frankly, Saudi Arabia didn't want it either. They thought that a deal is imminent. And the deal is imminent, having to do with the Hormuz Strait and also ultimately the denuclearization of Iran. So when I hear that, I say, well, do we want to go and be this severe? Now, there's a group of people that would like me to just do it. And there's another group of people that does not want me to do it.
Dr. Gina, I think you and I are generally on the same page. We have war fatigue. I definitely do. I don't want to put too many words in your mouth, but I think we've kind of discussed this. When I listen to what we just heard and I see kind of what's playing out, the idea of doing the same thing, expecting a different result, being insanity is what comes to mind for me.
Yeah, you know that little thing you used to ride when you were little? Was it called a seesaw?
Yeah.
Or is a seesaw the thing that
seesaw
goes like
goes up
this?
and down.
Okay, what's the one that went like this? You know, you
The
push.
merry-go-round that goes round and round and round?
push. You said there was two seats, one on either end, and you pushed it, and you went back and forth, but you never really got anywhere.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm talking about? The glider? Was that what it was called?
It's generally a seesaw. Yeah, I get what I know exactly what you're describing.
Somebody put in the chat
yes.
what it was, because I can't remember the name of it. But I loved that thing. I used to put my poor pug on the other end of it, and he would actually hold on because what the heck else was he going to do, right? And I thought he liked it because he was holding on. I know he was holding on because he was afraid he was going to die, but I didn't know that because I was 5. And anyway, and you know, you glide it back and you can make it go kind of fast, but not too fast. Do they make those anymore? Because I've never seen those on swing sets lately. Anyway, I loved doing that when I was a little girl. I loved my swing set. I loved doing it with my dog. But I don't love doing it as a consumer of what could potentially end up being our children going to war. There's people dying. I mean, the whole thing, it's just David, and you called this. Actually, you both called this. But David, Brody, you were like on day one. I remember you saying there is no way we get in and we get out. And I'm like, no, this is President Trump. He can do anything. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah, we got to obviously we got to get to the guests, but I just 20 seconds or less, which is making a deal with Iran actually a good thing? Everybody's like, what if there's an actual deal, right? And everybody's like, oh, way to go. There's a deal with Iran, a deal with liars and cheaters. So we're going to, in a year from now, they're going to break the deal. 6 months from now, they're going to break it. So even if there's a deal, we got to be careful because everybody's going to be spinning this as kind of like, there's a deal. We have a deal. Yeah. You don't have a deal with cheaters. You never have a deal with cheaters. So this idea that there's going to be a deal, we should not think this is a great thing. I think this is a bad thing. Then what? We pull everybody out of the Middle East, and then in a year and a half, we're back.
Because if they're this flaky in the negotiation part, they're not going to be any less flaky once there's a quote-unquote deal. Okay, today's Bible verse that was sent to us by Missy for Trump in the YouTube chat. It's from Jeremiah 29:11. We all know that one. For I know the thoughts I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you a future and a hope. Send your favorite Bible verse to our YouTube chat. All right, let's get in with South Carolina Congresswoman Sherry Biggs. Congresswoman, I mean, you don't trust what they're going to say, so we get the deal. And then a year from now, what's that look like?
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for having me on today. I was just listening to what you were saying, and I think it's so evident that we can't negotiate with these terrorists. They are bullies, and we've already given them an opportunity, and it's very frustrating. You know, I was with service members over the weekend. I had guard duty, and when you think about the men and women and what they're going through, you know, we escalate things, and then we're sitting at a standstill. That turmoil is not good for our military members. You know, we start something, then we back off. And I'm all about giving everyone an opportunity. I don't want to see people die. And that's, you know, that's not my priority. But I do feel like we have to protect the homeland. We have to put America first. And America has the capability of taking care of this. And dragging it out is doing nothing but fatiguing our service members. So I would really like to see a conclusion. I think we need to sit down with our allies and we need to put a little pressure on them. This needs to be all or none. We need to come together, and we need to protect, and we need to put Iran where they belong. And that's not negotiating capabilities.
Congresswoman, I want to follow up. You had guard duty this weekend, so you have a unique perspective on the rank and file's perspective on this particular war. You touched on it a little bit, but is there also war fatigue within the rank and file? I realize you follow orders. That's what you sign up for. But what is, if you can kind of go deeper into how the rank and file there in the military are seeing this war continue to play out?
Well, you know, I don't want to disclose any information from my friends and my constituents that are over there. But as a psych mental health practitioner, I know this is something that we face if we don't end this quickly. That is something that, and our administration, I believe they know that. The leaders know that. So I think that will play a big factor into the decisions that they make today and this week.
So just so I understand what you're saying, when you say end this quickly, what does that mean exactly? Are you talking about power plant and bridges day? Are you talking about let's go, we're there, let's finish the job in terms of doing that? And when I say finish the job, what I mean by finish the job, and I'm curious what you think, I think power plant and bridges and all of that, which will lead ultimately to people taking to the streets and overthrowing this regime.
I think that's exactly what needs to happen. We have been playing around long enough, and they're not going to come to the table with anything that we can hang our hat on. They're criminals. They're bad people, and it should be non-negotiable.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, so do you think that President Trump is close to that point? Do you think that he could really go there this time, or do you think we're going to continue with the back and forth?
I think President Trump is capable of anything, and I do believe he has the backbone to get this done. And I think the only reason he is delaying is because our allies have asked him, and out of respect for them. So I think we're very near, and I hope we put an end to this quickly.
I agree.
All right. Congresswoman Sherry Biggs, always great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. All right, coming up, we're going to check out the hottest headlines from the RAV newsroom with T. Bates. Also later, Israel sounds the alarm over a proposed Hamas disarmament deal. Why are officials concerned? And what will that mean for the next phase of these negotiations? Just ahead on American Sunrise.
And cut down news because she was good, and there's still more that I think we wanted to get to. in the future, you can do that. As far as I'm concerned, it's obviously your call, but.
Thanks for giving me some time to talk about jury duty at the top. I appreciate it. One thing I didn't get in is I got $30 a day, so I'm set for life. So
Will you please?
You caught me because I was getting ready to ask, hey, David,
really?
You borrow $90.
Why did you predict that?
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
Oh, gosh.
Is that a thing?
Tracy, good morning.
You know what I realized today? School starts in how many days?
Oh, gosh.
Traffic is back.
Tracy, what's our weather story?
Have the biscuits and gravy arrived yet?
I was going to show a video, or a video of a road buckling from heat.
Oh, okay, cool. And I'm leading into you with the wildfires out west, so that could work. Okay.
You guys saw Parker got engaged over the weekend.
Oh,
I heard that.
I actually didn't see it, but I heard it from so many people that I.
Oh, that's cool.
Do we have that in
I heard
headlines?
the rumor last week.
Gina, just let us know when the biscuits and gravy arrive, please.
I will.
Thank you.
And the Grand Slam, don't forget.
Oh, the Grand Slam, of course.
Now, did you get
That's
the
the only
Grand
baseball
Slam
term
with the
Gina
pancakes
knows.
or
No,
with the French?
This news break is brought to you by AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens.
Listen, it's straight up muggy in Washington this morning. I stepped out just for a moment into the Washington, D.C. air. No, thank you. I went back into my air-conditioned diva environment. I'm not having any of that. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. All right, let's get to T. Bates. He's got the Real America's Voice news headlines, sponsored by AMAC.
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.us/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
It appears a bipartisan group of senators has reached a deal to fund the government beyond the midterm elections in order to avoid a shutdown during election season. A vote on the measure is expected to happen this week before the Senate leaves Washington for its August recess. The bill would fund the federal government at current funding levels through December 1st. The House has already passed a similar funding plan, although there are some differences when it comes to defense spending. In the meantime, Senate Majority Leader John Thune saying passing this funding extension is his top priority going into the August break. He points out the American people have already endured 2 record-breaking government shutdowns in the past 10 months. More than a dozen wildfires are burning across Washington state right now, with the eastern part of the state really feeling the heat. At least 600 homes and businesses in the Spokane area have burned to the ground, and about 60,000 people have been forced to evacuate. Here's some of the video from Sunday. That number, by the way, includes patients at the city's Veterans Hospital. Spokane is the second largest city in the state. The blazes in that area have already torched more than 8 square miles. Statewide, nearly 400 square miles have burned. Coupled with the many other wildfires that are eating up real estate across the western United States, federal, state, and local agencies are being stretched to their limits fighting these fires. So far, investigators haven't determined how the fire started, but they do say there are no reports of deaths or missing persons, specifically in Washington state at this point. That leads us to our forecast. It has been dry and hot across the western part of the country. Weather Nation meteorologist Tracy Anthony standing by with more on what you can expect depending on where you live. Tracy, good morning.
Hey, good morning. We're talking about those extreme temperatures out west. It's really going to stay warm for most of the week. Now, Terrance, you have a big cool down in Denver. That's a cold front that we'll work on through, but most of us will continue to trend on that upward slope. Las Vegas could be breaking records today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So we're talking 6 of the next 7 days, and temperatures across the country. Notice Billings on the cool side. So this is that cooler air that's going to surge to the south. Could have a few thunderstorms associated with it, but it's the 2 northern sides of the country where we do still have some moderate temperatures and we're not so hot and humid, but heat index values close to 90 all the way up to the north. So that will be where we do have a chance for some strong and severe thunderstorms. So Terrance, I had a video that I thought I got into the touchscreen and it looks like it didn't load. So with the heat, I don't know if you've ever seen a highway buckle.
I have, but it hasn't been heat related. It's typically been flooding related. Water, you know, there's been such a flood that it's washed away, I guess, the gravel underneath the highway itself. And I've seen it buckle as it related to that, but I don't think ever heat related. That's interesting.
Yeah, so we've been seeing that across parts of the South. So I will get that video loaded into the touch screen for next hour. And don't forget to drop me your hometown forecast.
Absolutely. Tracy, good to see you. We'll check in with you next hour for those hometown forecasts. Looking forward to it.
Perfect.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, President Trump says talks aimed at reaching a deal with Iran will resume today with a potential breakthrough now within reach. So what could Iran actually be asked to give up, and could an agreement finally bring the fighting to an end? We'll get some expert analysis next. Let me get in. Is Fleur up? Okay.
So would we do the intro? You want to? Okay. You want me to just come out and just ad-lib? So Las Vegas, Nevada, whatever. MD, our director, you're saying it's 113 later this week in Vegas? Oh, that's just fantastic. Wonderful. He read it on the internet, so it's obviously true. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. By the way, it's a dry heat. So 113, whatever, it's fine. All right, so let's check out this NBC News headline, because this is the big news, one of the big stories this morning. Acting AG, that'd be Attorney General, but I just like to sound cool. AG, Todd Blanche, reaches deal with holdout senators to scrap the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. What? Judiciary Committee vote set for tomorrow. Of course, that anti-weaponization fund was part of President Trump's settlement with the IRS. Let's bring in T. Bates and Gina. Okay, so let's get straight to the nitty-gritty, T. Bates, which is if Todd Blanche wants to be the Attorney General and wants the confirmation vote, he needs to get Tom Tillis and John Cornyn on board.
John Cornyn.
And they were holding this up, and so MAGA's not going to like this because he had to actually say, I'm going to put something in writing to say I'm scrapping the anti-weaponization board. Oh, my goodness. Right. Hello. Good morning, Todd Blanche.
And this is Tom Tillis and the North Carolina senator's way of screwing President Trump. They are both out. I'm sorry, Cornyn. They are both headed out. They're not seeking re-election. Cornyn, of course, lost his bid in the primary for re-election. And so this is their way of screwing President Trump on their way out. It's their, if I can do that on TV, to President Trump. I didn't do the finger.
Just did, I think. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't use the finger, so hopefully I won't get us in trouble since it was a balled fist. But this is their way of screwing them. And while I must say I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of $1.8 billion of tax money being set aside for private citizens, admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of that. But the whole principle is, okay, I'm going to back off on this idea simply because there are these two outlying senators who are pushing the buttons and that my confirmation really depends on them. I don't like that, especially since they're outgoing and they're not going to really have any say after November anyway, or technically January. That's just my 2 cents, Dr. G.
Yeah, David, is there any legitimacy here at all? Like, what's the other side's argument? I always like to examine that part.
The other side of, in terms of what, the political argument or just the anti-weaponization fund?
The Blanche thing.
Well, no, just, I mean, there's really not much of the other side of it other than, I mean, I guess I'm not really quite sure. Are you asking about why Blanche would sign it? Is that what you're saying, or would
no?
Put it out?
I just always like to examine the other side and hear theirs. And I haven't looked at this issue as extensively as I probably should have. So I just wondered what the other side argument was, because I mean, obviously the three of us agree. Yeah. So we are a chorus, and that's nice and everything.
David,
but I'd like to understand what the other side is. Yeah.
Go ahead,
David. If I can just jump in, it seems to me the only other side is that weaponization fund.
Okay.
There, Democrats obviously are going to be against the fund in and of itself.
Yeah,
and then you've got John Cornyn and Tom Tillis, who are simply jumping in the fray, whether they're really against it or not. This is simply their way to hamstring President Trump. That's my interpretation of this. That's the only other side of the story, is that there are people who oppose this anti-weaponization fund, which, again, from my perspective, I question $1.8 billion of American taxpayer money being funneled to people for their private issues with the government. That's just me, though.
And I think, Gina, the other part of this is like, okay, so it's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund when Trump is in control and the DOJ is with Blanche. What happens when it's the next Eric Holder? And what happens when it's the next, President AOC? Did I actually say that? I can't believe I actually said that. But you know what I'm saying? So then now they're going to have their anti-weaponization fund. Oh, and I wonder who are going to be targets of that. Hello, that works both ways. So I think that's kind of a concern.
That's true.
I see what you're saying. But I just don't see, I'm sorry, I don't see I have seen the weaponization of our government against conservatives and against Christians and against patriots. I don't see the weaponization of the government on the other side. I really don't see it. And I really, David, you know how hard I try to really look and listen to the other side. I feel like I owe it to my dad, who was a big liberal, and I don't have him to talk to anymore. So I always try to make sure that I examine that other side, and I don't see it.
Well, I don't know. You're going to get the Letitia James and others saying, hey, wait, I want some money. I was unfairly prosecuted or tried to get prosecuted. We got to run. But anyhow, we'll come back to it. All right. President Trump says the U.S. will begin a new round of talks with Iran after pausing planned military strikes to allow more time for diplomacy. Trump says the talks would focus on reopening the Strait of Hormuz, addressing Iran's nuclear program, and reducing tensions across the Middle East, yada, yada, yada. Trump says Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates encouraged the U.S. to give diplomacy more time, and he says the deal could be within reach. Trump warned military options, of course, remain if negotiations fail. All right, let's bring in Israel's Foreign Ministry Special Envoy, former Deputy Mayor of Jerusalem, Fleur Hassan Nahom. Did I mess that? Did I mess your name up? Let's just get that out of the way right now.
No, you did it perfectly. Thank you very much. It's not so easy, I know.
It's great to have you.
Thank you. There you go. The French pronunciation.
Yeah.
There you go. Oui, 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 oui. All right. So look, here's the thing. I guess I'm playing checkers here, right? I mean, is this 4D chess, 9D chess, 12D chess? I give up at this point. What is your view on where we're going here exactly?
Look, I'll tell you where we're not going. To peace and reconciliation with the IRGC, a regime that wakes up in the morning saying death to America, death to Israel, death to the civilization of Judeo-Christian values that we all treasure. That's not who they are. They're playing for time like they've been playing for time for 47 years with successive presidents. This is the only president who actually did something about it. And I think at this point also President Trump is playing for time because I don't think it's a popular war, unfortunately. And he has the midterms to think about. And that's understandable from his perspective. But can you make peace with these people? Absolutely not. They killed 50,000 of their own people. Every single day, they are executing beautiful young people in their own country for showing a strand of hair, for coming out, for anything. They are executing their own people. You can't have peace with these people. So everybody's playing for time. That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. So if you can't have peace with these people, in your words, what should the ultimate goal here be? The stated goal from the Trump administration is reopening the Strait of Hormuz and denuclearizing Iran. Does that go far enough from your perspective?
Well, that's a good first step. As long as they can march towards a nuclear weapon, we're all in danger because these people, as you know, have been attacking Americans, have been attacking Israel, have been attacking the whole world. They're infiltrated everywhere in the world. They fund Hezbollah that has thrown 16,000 rockets towards Israel that has killed hundreds of American soldiers. They fund Hamas. We all know what they did and how many Americans they've killed. They fund the Houthis that are trying to also hold the Red Sea Straits a hostage. These are the Nazis of our era. We have to understand it. This is a civilizational struggle. So yes, we can put the gun down the road for a little bit, but ultimately regime change should be in everybody's mind. I know it's a difficult thing to say, and I know it's a big sacrifice, but these people are not going anywhere good. They will play, they will lie, they will play for time. President Trump has seen this. They signed a 60-day agreement 60 days ago, and within a week they were attacking ships on the Strait of Hormuz. So they want to sign another 60-day agreement? They're already attacking ships today. They're already denying that they've gone back to the negotiating table.
Well, also, Israel's raising serious concerns over a proposed deal to disarm Hamas as part of the Gaza peace plan. Israeli officials say they want guarantees that Hamas will fully give up its weapons and military capabilities before any major troop withdrawal happens. Hamas has said it is willing to move toward disarmament, but the details of implementation remain a major obstacle. Is this a deal?
They're about as reliable as the IRGC. Let's put it that way. So let's look at the deal a bit more in detail. What they're saying is we are willing to give up our heavy armament. What's heavy armament? Rockets. No, they haven't been sending rockets, mainly because we've managed to create this buffer zone so they can't throw rockets at us. But they want to keep defensive weapons. Do you know what their defensive weapons are? Kalashnikovs and RPGs. And so we can't trust these people. They want Israel to retreat. We will not retreat beyond the yellow line that we captured in order to create that buffer zone to protect our citizens in the south of the country. And I don't see who is going to go in there and actually collect their weapons. They're talking about some international force. We've been here before. UNIFIL in Lebanon was a UN international force that was meant to disarm Hezbollah. Did it happen? No, it didn't. You're dealing with jihadi terrorists who would rather sacrifice their own people than give up on their dreams of their death cult of jihad. We are not dealing with rational actors. Or the same in Iran and the same in Gaza. It's the same people.
The Truth and Knowledge segment this morning with Flora Hassan Nahum. Really appreciate your time. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're back in a moment. First, though, Rav's own Don Newen is releasing his new song, Extortion 17. Sounds sketchy. Today through Real America's Music. It's a song honoring American heroes. Take a look. Quick preview right here.
Some stories deserve more than headlines. They deserve to be remembered. Extortion 17 honors the 30 American service members and 8 Afghan partners who made the ultimate sacrifice when their helicopter was shot down during a mission in Afghanistan on August 6, 2011. Through powerful orchestration and heartfelt emotion, composer Don Newen pays tribute to their courage, their service, and the families who continue to carry their legacy. From Real America's Music, this is Extortion 17 by Don Newen. Download it now.
Good morning, Bethany.
Good morning.
Live on YouTube. And we're back.
Morning, all.
Yeah, everybody. You ever say y'all? Gina, you ever say y'all? All y'all? You say y'all?
You guys will be glad to know that my biscuits and gravy and Grand Slam breakfast are being delivered right as we speak.
So are you saying is it still in transit or is it actually parked?
It is actually being delivered. I love it. I love how you can watch like the little pan with the ingredients going in it.
What?
Yeah,
that's what's going on?
No, you know, they've got little, I don't know what you'd call them, not emojis, but like little.
Oh yeah, little
gifts.
Animation.
Yeah, little
Did you order directly
yeah.
from Denny's or did you order like DoorDash?
I ordered
nothing like
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
Nothing like.
Okay.
Well, enjoy your cholesterol-induced Grand Slam. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's funny. Someone said, are you going to share with Colby? I'm like, oh, heck no. He only gets good organic food. I would never feed my dog.
I like how the Grand Slam is coming right about at the health segment time.
Yeah.
Dr. Gina, I'm not going to lie. I'm impressed at your appetite because the biscuits and gravy alone would have filled me. Like to do a Grand Slam and the side of biscuits and gravy?
I do a buffet, though, Terrance. I'll take one bite of each and I'll be done. And Jason will come over and get the rest of it.
And he'll eat, okay.
Yeah.
Jason
He's such a
is probably
scavenger.
like, and order this too. And how about let's just add on.
Still alive and double back. They say trust us, don't ask why. Look away, don't use your eyes. But truth don't need a costume. Truth don't lie.
Hi, welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. Grand Haven, Michigan. It looks about like Palm Beach looked all weekend. It was just overcast the entire weekend. And we were wanting to go out in the boat, and we sat in the house, and I got a lot of needle pointing done. That's about all I can say about that. It is time now for today's health news. As my biscuits and gravy and Grand Slam arrive from Denny's. It is sponsored by the Wellness Company. Under the microscope today, Montana poised to become the first state to expand access to experimental drugs that have not yet received full FDA approval. Under the new law taking effect this fall, adults could access certain investigational treatments after providing informed consent. Supporters say the change gives patients more freedom and faster access to promising therapies. Critics warn the policy could expose people to unproven treatments with limited safety and effectiveness data. Yeah, you know, there are some times where you just don't care. And I'm not even going to say only if you're dying. I'm going to say there are times where, you know, if you're a migraine sufferer, you know that moment where you're like, I'll take anything to get through this. So, you know, it's just, I don't appreciate government telling anyone what they can and can't consume. Give all the warnings. I think that's great. Do all the investigations. That's great. Don't tell us what we can and can't do. All right, this summer, patriotic Americans from coast to coast will be celebrating the 250th birthday of the greatest country on the planet. This nation was founded by brave patriots who declared their independence from our British overlords. This summer is not only a good time to reflect on 250 years of American exceptionalism, it's also a great time to channel some of that American individualism and declare your independence from big pharma and the broken medical establishment. That's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from their doctors all the time on this network. You know that their products are the gold standard when it comes to keeping your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company makes sure you're prepared for whatever comes your way with their assortment of prescription medical kits. These kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the use of the meds in the kit. Additionally, the Wellness Company makes sure you have a variety of products to choose from with parasite cleanses, methylene blue, weight loss, so much more. These can help you stay healthy, live a longer, more satisfying life. Celebrate America's 250 by declaring your independence from Big Pharma. Go to twc.health/RAV. Today, give it an order. That's twc.health/RAV. Use the promo code RAV. It'll save you 10%. All right, the WNBA has suspended Seattle Storm co-owner Celeste Keaton for 5 home games after a confrontation with 2 teenage fans holding signs expressing support for Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham's stance on women's sports. Legal officials also fined Keaton following the incident. Cunningham, not sure why I can't talk this morning, Cunningham, who has spoken in favor of limiting women's sports to biological females, called the co-owner's behavior truly embarrassing and said the teens stood up for their beliefs. The Storm has apologized and reaffirmed their commitment to providing an inclusive environment. Well, let's bring in the communications director for NRB, Bethany Miller. Bethany, how is Gen Z responding to this story?
I think we're tired having this conversation over and over and over once again. I mean, how many times do we have to say no men in women's sports? And Sophie came out and said, this is not political. This is just what I believe. And I'm so grateful the Seattle Storms went the way they did. But then they used the word inclusive, because we have to be politically correct here to say, you know, we must be inclusive here. But at the end of the day, what Celeste Keaton did was anything but inclusive. I mean, the fact that she had to yell and use cuss words to 2 16-year-old girls who were just coming to support both teams. And if you hear their stories, I mean, one of them, especially Annalie, came and she has her own story of having to deal with a trans athlete in her line of sport. And she has had, her mother has come out and said that Annalie has struggled with panic attacks and with the mental response to it. And so, of course, courage is courageous and it's contagious. And so someone like Annalie looks to Sophie and says, this is somebody I look up to. I want to go support her. So imagine being 16 years old, going with your friend to a night out to go and support Sophie and to see Caitlin Clark and to see their all-stars, and then you get cussed out and yelled at by a Seattle Storms co-owner. Like, how jarring and how terrifying and how anti-woman of somebody like Celeste to go off on 2 16-year-old girls. It's unthinkable. Yet at the end of the day, this is just biological reality that we are talking about, and I can't believe we are still having this conversation.
Yeah, you make an excellent point, really. I kind of can't either. And really, when you look at the contrast just of the B-roll that we ran through this block, it really speaks for itself, doesn't it? This is really just cheating disguised as inclusivity. That's really all it is. Bethany Miller, we appreciate you. Wish we had more time with you. We'll have you back soon.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. All right, there's more American Sunrise coming your way in a moment. But first, Rav's own Eric Bowling back with another Main Street America event. General admission is free. When do you get anything for free? Well, you do here at Rav. Attendees will have 2 live national broadcasts. Here's a quick preview.
From packed crowds to unforgettable conversations, Eric Bowling's Main Street America tour has been an incredible journey across the country.
Make sure you subscribe to Real America's Voice, pro-Trump, pro-conservative, patriotic network, more so than anyone I've ever worked at.
And now it's time for the next stop, Las Vegas. Join Eric Friday, August 7th as he broadcasts live from Joel's Chop House inside the Hearn Hotel, bringing you the stories, the voices, and the energy that have made this tour such a success.
I think you are the new America's sheriff. Your numbers are incredible.
Tune in for this special live broadcast beginning at 1 p.m. local time, or join us in person. But tickets won't last long. Scan the QR code right now to secure your spot.
Beautiful place downstairs. We got some live music going. We got this here going. We have a big crowd a little bit later.
Don't miss it. Friday, August 7th, only on Real America's Voice.
And we're back. Let me guess, Gina is now securing the biscuits and gravy in the Grand Slam.
Hey, David, what was the makeup of the jury?
Yeah, that's a great question. 6 men, 6 women. In terms of the ethnic makeup, I think it was 1 Hispanic, 1 African American, 1 Indian. Then I think the rest were Caucasian, white, whatever.
Okay.
Trying to think, there might have been one other minority.
The suspect,
two white
minority,
two white guys.
Two white guys.
Two white guys.
Okay.
2 white guys.
And this happened on a golf course?
Happened on a golf course.
Right.
And you know what's also interesting?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and you know what was also interesting? We didn't get to 11-1 right away. It was 5-4 to begin with, and then we started working other jurors.
All right, folks, take a minute and go check out whatever coffee you have on your counter or in your cabinet right now. Ask yourself this, or take a closer look at the bottle or the can and see if it says blend on it. Most people actually have no idea what that actually means. It means that the beans came from multiple countries, from different farms, from unknown origins. They were mixed together so the flavor stays consistent no matter what they throw in it. If those beans actually look oily, well, that's not freshness. That's what happens when you over roast in order to mask the inconsistency of those coffee beans. 1775 Coffee is 1 certified organic farm in Bolivia. It's single origin, and it ships direct from Bolivia to Miami and then straight to your door. Small batch roasted here in the United States. You already drink coffee every single morning, so why not make it some coffee that you can actually stand behind? That would be 1775 Coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com, use the code RAV, and score yourself 15% off plus a cup of really good coffee. In fact, I just had some 1775 coffee myself. Here's the cup. You can see it. Very, very good. That's why I'm so bubbly this morning. All right, now that we've got you caffeinated, it's time to stay awake, not woke. And today, we're discussing U.S. Senate candidate James Talarico. Talarico is facing criticism from some conservative opponents over past comments on religion, healthcare, as well as gender issues. During a campaign event at a church, Talarico actually linked his healthcare views to his interpretation of the teachings of Jesus.
We can finish the work of President Obama and pass a public option so that every single American has access to the health care they deserve. Because health care is a human right. It is not a privilege. Since we are in church, and because I said BS earlier, if you read our scriptures, if you read the New Testament, what does Jesus spend most of his time doing? It's not, well, you already know, okay. It's not preaching, it's not teaching, it is healing the sick. And in Matthew 25, Scripture says that's how we will be judged and how we will be saved, by healing the sick. by feeding the hungry, by welcoming the stranger, by visiting the prisoner.
All right, let's get some perspective from Dr. Gina and David. Who wants first bat at this one? David, Dr. Gina, which one of you wants to go first on this one?
Ladies first?
Okay. Ladies first then. Dr. G?
All right. A special place in hell for someone who uses... I'm sorry. Special place in hell for someone who uses our scriptures, who you know doesn't read them, who you know Googled this real fast or asked Claude before he came out, hey, is there some way I can bend the Bible to say that we should have universal health care? I mean, that's what he did. He doesn't know. And you do, look, the kind of tyranny that he's talking about over people's health choices. We've seen what happened, what Obamacare really brought us. Remember when you could see kids today, they don't even know. My kids, they won't go to a hospital or a doctor for anything. COVID made them not trust anyone, and they read infection rates and malpractice rates and everything. They won't go, they just won't go. That's what Obamacare gave us, right? So when you were talking about that kind of medical tyranny, and you were trying to use the Bible to rationalize it and to sell it, I just can't even imagine what God does with that. I won't even purport to guess what God's going to do, what kind of judgment befalls you when you use the Bible to promote such a radically anti-Christian concept, David.
It's disgusting. I've been covering this type of stuff for 20 years now. This is what the liberals do. It's called the social justice gospel. It is rooted in Matthew 25. I've heard this ad nauseum to the point where I have thrown up in my mouth multiple times. I know that's disgusting, but sorry, I said it. And this is what they do. They literally go to this passage in Matthew 25, and all of a sudden, Jesus is for the public option for healthcare. Yeah. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing. And what was the most concerning of all of everything he said was that Jesus didn't come to preach. I mean, like, it wasn't about preaching for Jesus. It was about acts. What is he, crazy? I mean, he is crazy. I mean, the acts were preaching, by the way, and it wasn't about the acts. Preaching was all about the gospel presentation. It was all about come to me.
He was called teacher. Like, preaching and teaching was his thing. They called him teacher.
But they want to just focus on the acts, and when they do that, then they can try to tie it to therefore ... and they go into the liberal mumbo jumbo. It's disgusting. It's absolutely wrong. And I think the lesson for all of us, and when I say all of us, I'm talking about all of us, including all three of us, is we better get up to speed on our Bible big time, make sure we know what's going on, and we better make sure that we understand that this is not the inspired word of God. You hear that a lot. This is the inerrant word of God. There's a big difference between inerrant word of God, in other words, the actual, what the words matter, and what Jesus and what God put down on paper, that is the inerrant word of God, rather than just kind of the inspired. The minute you say inspired, it can be, it's inspired. Give it, take a little bit, gray area, you can go public health care option, but no, it's the inerrant word of God. Very important, big difference.
Yeah.
That's a great distinction, David. Thanks for reminding me. Sometimes I think we all need that reminder. Coming up, can reading the Bible actually help improve mental health? New research is exploring the link between the scriptures, prayer, and emotional well-being. We'll talk about it next.
Good morning, Pastor Miles.
Hey, how are you?
Really good. I just had my biscuits and gravy delivered.
Oh, very nice.
Lucas Miles, it's David Brody. I'm not in the segment, but I think you're the best.
Well, I'm just sorry I missed the Talarico segment. That was fun.
Oh, my gosh. We needed to have you on for that.
You can comment on it when I bring you in.
Okay, no, that's not good. Good to see all three of you.
Good to see you, Pastor.
I missed what you said. Would you like to comment on that or no?
I'm happy to. Yeah.
I still didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm happy to if you'd like me to.
Got you.
Sure.
Got you.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if he could, because I mean, he is the authoritarian on the. I mean, woke Jesus. He wrote the book.
Happy to.
All right, I'm going to get a snack in the meantime.
Grand Slam.
I want some.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for.
I don't know why my biscuits and gravy didn't get delivered. So.
Gina just ordered something for you.
Yeah. Grapes from the grape tree? Oh, I'm like, what are they talking about right now?
What's happening?
Welcome back to American Sunrise. I love that stinger, by the way. Whoever made that, kudos. It is time now for our moment of faith and focus today. New research examining the connection between faith, scripture, and mental health. Recent studies are exploring how spiritual practices, including reading scripture and prayer, are associated with brain activity, emotional well-being, and how some people process stress and trauma. For generations, people of faith have turned to scripture for comfort, guidance, and hope during difficult times. And researchers are studying why some people report a feeling of greater sense of peace, purpose, and resilience through their faith. Here to discuss this further is Senior Director of TPUSA Faith and author of The Pagan Threat, Pastor Lucas Miles. Good morning. Pastor, I want to give you a chance first to comment on Talarico, because I know that we were talking on the break, and I know that last story that we did, you had a little something to say about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so much that we heard in that soundbite from him. One of the things that he stated was that it was specifically kind of how you serve and how you take care of the poor and how you heal the sick that is what saves you. And this is like a fire sign that he doesn't understand the gospel, and this isn't true Christianity, because the Bible is very clear that our salvation comes by faith in Jesus Christ, not by our works. This is a tenet of the faith, and so this is a wolf in sheep clothing without a doubt.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the social justice system, social welfare system has torn apart families, torn apart churches, undermined neighbors and friends and charities and everything else. We need to go back to the day where social welfare is not a thing, so we can go back to the way God set up the system, so that we're dependent on families and friends and churches instead of big daddy government. And that's all they want, is more of that. This concept of self-care, it makes me a little crazy, to be honest, Pastor. There's really not a word that probably triggers me quite like self-care. And it's a hard one, because I'm a chick, and a lot of my friends will say, oh, you need self-care. Do you want to go do a self-care day? And I think, what? My kind of self-care is getting my face in that Bible, getting on my knees before the Lord. That's where the real self-care is. And that's what this study, these researchers have found actually works, right?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what we're seeing. I think that those of us who have been in, the work of the gospel for a long time are not shocked by this, to see a connection between our biology and also our psychology and our spirituality. These things, of course, play into each other. It's no surprise that when you get in the Word of God, it begins to transform your thinking. And you see lower anxiety rates, you see lower depression rates, you see lower addiction rates. And I think the more that you get in the Word, the more it begins to replace those negative thoughts and feelings, and that we're seeing benefit on the other side of this. And so I think this is confirming what, Scripture's been telling us all along.
Yeah, and I think for those people who have anxiety and nervous energy, then acting upon what you see in the scriptures, going to a nursing home, going to an animal shelter and offering to walk dogs, going and blessing people. If you have $5 in your pocket, just go out and give it to someone. Just sending a message to someone saying, I hope you're having a good day. There's a million ways to go and give, but when you go and give, as scripture says, then after you've armed up with your scripture, right? You've got to get in the word, the actual physical word of God. And then you go and you give, and then that is the kind of self-care that really works psychologically. My background's psychology as well, and I can absolutely attest to this over and over. But our world doesn't get it.
No, they don't seem to. And I think that, look, the scripture teaches that when you die to yourself, that this is really the path to life. Mm-hmm. And what that means is we start letting go of ego. We start letting go of kind of our entitlements and our need to kind of be right all the time. And we start putting the Lord first as we get into his word, as we start, refreshing and renewing our mind to what that says. Look, it's an affront to our own way of thinking, but ultimately that's what we need. And so we're seeing the results in this. So I would encourage anybody, if you're out there and you're looking to improve your life, reading the Bible on a daily basis is one surefire way to do that. And, you'll never regret it.
Yeah, go read the parable of the wheat and the chaff again. That's a great one for learning to die to self. Pastor Lucas Miles, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, back with the second hour of American Sunrise right after this.
Tracy.
Hello.
Hello. You have some hometown forecast for us this time?
I do.
All right. Perfecto.
I do.
Oh, man.
See you momentarily.
Good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Hey, Alex. Good morning. How are you? Terrance Bates here.
Great. Hey, Terrance. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me back. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And Alex, it's David Brody. I just want airtime. Hello. Good morning.
David, nice to see you again.
Great to see you. Even though we don't see you right now, but it is great to see you. Just audio-wise, it's just to hear the audio.
Hearing, you know what? I'm an audio guy myself. If I'm putting TV on, I'm usually just listening to it. So
yeah, I'm a
I know
big
that's
fan
not
of
how it was
audio.
intended to be consumed. That's the reality for me.
No, I like 8-track as well. 8-track cartridges. Big fan of 8-track. Coming up on the second hour of American Sunrise, Todd Bland strikes a deal with Republican holdouts, and he scraps the anti-weaponization fund. So does this clear the way for his confirmation, or could more roadblocks be ahead? Plus, President Trump says negotiations with Iran will resume today, and a deal could be closer than ever. What could be included in the agreement? What stands in the way of a final deal? We'll dissect just like a biologist. And later, the midterms are coming into focus. Which issues are giving President Trump stronger support among voters? And where are Americans raising concerns? We're going to break down the latest polling and more. The second hour of American Sunrise starts in August on a Monday right now. Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of American Sunrise. I'm David Brody. I'm in the swamp. Let's bring in Dr. G. She's in West Palm, and T. Bates out in Denver. Gina, obviously the burning question is, have the biscuits and gravy and the Grand Slam arrived?
Yes.
And will you be checking your cholesterol after the show?
Yes. Do you know, here's a very interesting factoid about Denny's biscuits and gravy.
Yes.
Guess how much they cost? Terrance, I want you to go on that because I have a feeling you are the fiscal one of our group.
These days, just the order of biscuits and gravy, because things are much more expensive. Just the order of biscuits and gravy, I would say probably $5.99.
Good guess, David.
Gosh. No, well, more than that, $8.99.
$4.19.
Really?
Just for the I could see that just for the biscuits and
so
gravy.
Reasonable.
I could see that.
You try to order biscuits and gravy from any of the froofy places around here in Palm Beach, and it's going to be literally $18, $19 for biscuits and gravy.
Oh gosh!
But if you go to Denny's, it's $4.19. Denny's, you should sponsor this show. Listen to me talking you up.
Come on, let's go. Every day could be a grand slam on this show. How's that for a little tagline?
Nicely played, David. Nicely played.
Give me a call, Dennis.
David, boy.
David, we're so glad you're back from jury duty, and it's just nice to have the gang back together again.
It is. We OG, old guard, OG, right? That's what they say.
Original gangstas.
David, I want you to tell me a little bit more about. I want you to tell me a little bit more about your case because I think I can probably figure out who the one holdout is. You said that there was a hung jury, and you kind of described the composure, how the jury was composed. I think I can probably, if I get some more details, I probably can figure out who the one holdout was. You said there were two guys on a golf course. You said I think six men or
six women,
six women.
6 men. Okay. 6 men, 6 women.
6 men. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a chokehold case.
Yeah. Can I just tell you what was interesting? Is that originally it ended up being 11-1 because we couldn't come to a final verdict, but it started at 5-4 guilty. 5-4 and 3 undecided, 5-4-3, and then eventually it got to 11-1. I was very proud of myself. I like to say I used a persuasive tactic, and I got 3 of the jurors to go and say guilty instead of not guilty. So I was very happy about that.
But you're not going to tell us the tactic?
Sure. I think the tactic is to agree with them and understand where they're coming from. Yeah, no, I think the tactic is human nature, Dr. G, as you might say, right? I mean, you know the psychology of it all, which is to find some common ground where you can agree and then go from there. And I think once you soften them a little bit and they don't feel like you're coming against them, then there's room for dialogue. And that's kind of the way I saw it. So,
all right. Anyway. Based on what you've told, I've got some more probing questions, but by the end of the day, I'm going to venture a guess as to who the one holdout was. And then tomorrow we can maybe share whether I was right or not.
The lights have gone off, by the way. I don't know what
Uh-oh. All right, that's that one juror. They were pulling the plug on David. It appears that bipartisan group of senators has actually reached a deal to fund the government beyond the midterm elections in order to avoid a shutdown during election season. A vote on the measure is expected to happen this week before the Senate leaves Washington for its August recess. The bill would fund the federal government at current funding levels through December 1st. The House has already passed a similar funding plan, although there are some differences when it comes to defense spending. President Trump says new talks to end the war with Iran will get underway this afternoon. All of this coming after his latest pause on strikes against the Islamic regime. Sunday, the commander-in-chief said he decided not to carry out major strikes against Iran amid requests from amid requests from Gulf allies, including Qatar and Saudi Arabia. 47 saying a plan was in place for, quote, the biggest attack since World War II. And more than a dozen wildfires are burning across Washington state right now, with the eastern part of that state really feeling the heat. At least 600 homes and businesses in the Spokane area have burned to the ground, and about 60,000 people have been forced to evacuate. That number, by the way, includes patients at the city's Veterans Hospital. Spokane is the second largest city in the state. The blazes in that area have already torched more than 8 square miles. Statewide, nearly 400 square miles have burned. You can see some of the video here. Wow. That brings us to our forecast. Weather Nation meteorologist Tracy Anthony standing by with your hometown forecast. Tracy, good to see you.
Hey, good morning. Just wanted to show you all the widespread extreme heat warnings and red flag warnings out across the Intermountain West. So that's still going to be a concern here throughout the week. But for your hometown forecast, we'll take you out to West Palm Beach. This is from one of our producers or tech directors, MD. He wanted to know about the storms, and we are going to stay a little soggy. Now, it's mainly the afternoon rumbles of thunder, but look at the temperatures staying right at 88, 87, 86. We're not fluctuating too much. So just have that umbrella handy across South Florida. Miami will have heat index values up to 110. So it's going to be pretty warm. As for Oral, South Dakota, this coming in from Mariah Craney on YouTube, 91 degrees today. They have a cold front working on through. We're not expecting too many rain showers in South Dakota or Oral, South Dakota, but look at that temperature drop. We're going to drop down to the 70s and then we'll warm right back up. So it's a quick cool down, but hey, I think we'll take it. It's going to be a nice break from the heat. Triple digits by Saturday. And then our last stop, actually from our very own Rav moderator. She said she went to visit her friends in Social Circle, Georgia, and wanted a forecast. It looks like they're going to be right around 90 degrees and kind of a stormy forecast as well, Terrance.
All right. Thanks so much, Tracy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get you over to David now. D-Bro, good morning, sir.
Good morning. The lights are back on. I paid the bills, and here we are. All right, thanks, T. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says he's reached an agreement with Republican holdouts, clearing a major obstacle to his confirmation as Attorney General. So Blanche has formally rescinded the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund and clarified that tax audit protections apply only to past tax filings, not to future returns. Senator John Cornyn's office confirmed the agreement, clearing the way for the Senate Judiciary Committee to consider Blanche's nomination. That will be tomorrow, or as I like to say, mañana. All right, let's bring now in the editor-in-chief of Breitbart News, Alex Marlow. Alex, well, I tell you what, the guy wants to be confirmed, so you got to put something down in writing because Cornyn and Tillis are a pain in the tuchus. Your thoughts?
We have no audio on Alex.
Alex, I thought he was just ignoring
I think
me.
I'm there, guys. I think that's on me. I think I got the contagious cough that Terrance had earlier.
No, that's fine. Sorry, please go ahead. I thought you were just going to join in.
He's a pain in my tuchus, by the way, Alex.
You guys invite me on. I had to come up with some way to blame one of you for something. No,
I wasn't calling you a pain in the tuchus because I thought you had left. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's my fault. My apologies. The problem we got here is that Cornyn is very spiteful, and Thome Tillis, I've demoted him to Thome. We're not going to do this Tom pronunciation. It's not spelled Tom, it's spelled Thome. That's his name. The guy's completely obnoxious person. I think he's a very dumb person, and he is determined to use the remaining power he's got to cause problems until he's out of there in a couple of months. And so he's going to demand certain things. And the weaponization fund, as much as I love the spirit of it, it was just one of those things that sounds really great on shows like this and shows like my show, but getting every Republican on board without the narrow majority, I'm not shocked that may have been the sticking point. Now, the question is it really done? Because Blanche, I think, will be a terrific Attorney General. He really has seized the opportunity as acting, and I do hope this gets through because he's a great guy for the job.
Alex, I wanted to talk to you about the fallout from the Fauci hearing. A famous musician, Nicki Minaj, slammed Fauci and said he will see the pain he caused people one day. Minaj also slammed Fauci's handling of the pandemic. A lot of us want to see a purple. Actually, I don't even want to see a purple. I want to see Fauci, I've said this publicly, drawn and quartered or publicly hanged for the thing that he has killed. I mean, they're just... allegedly, so many things that he has done. I think of the grandparents that died in nursing homes alone. I think of the people put on respirators when people knew that wasn't the thing. I think of just having an entire culture masked so they could test how much we would comply. The damage done is incalculable.
It's incalculable. And you start with how there are just so many people who were forced to have Thanksgivings alone, be alone in hospitals as they died, people who missed holidays, people who missed schools, people who missed proms, people who missed sports seasons. all while Fauci was having dinner with Jake Tapper, convincing Jake that Trump was nuts about the pandemic, or vice versa, who knows. And the fact that he was doing these things where he was basically keeping a record of all the celebrities who were falling in love with him while simultaneously tracking the death count. And he was lying to us about the nature of the virus. Think about how we were all called idiots and stupid and anti-science for suggesting that it may have been that lab where they were testing crazy viruses that was right there. Maybe that was the origin and not the pangolin soup that was undercooked. The fact that he allowed for all of us to get demonized. I can tell you, running a newsroom at the time, every single time we talked about the lab, I had to personally review every single piece of copy from Breitbart because the fact checkers were all over us because he would quote Fauci and say it's not the lab, when privately he knew it was the lab in January 2020. That was the beginning of the pandemic. You can't sum up in a short segment how many bad things have been exposed from these diaries, and he deserves everything that's going to him. Hopefully they bust him on the contempt of Congress. Steve Bannon went to jail for that. Pierre Navarro went to jail for that. He clearly has found some technicality where he is trying to plead the fifth when it would not incriminate him because he's been pardoned, allegedly, if the auto pen is legit. So because he's been pardoned, he should not have been able to plead the fifth all last week. So that's contempt of Congress, and he should go to jail at a minimum. And he has inflicted so much damage. All these young people, they're going to have developmental issues for the rest of their lives. You brought up Nicki Minaj, though. It is irresistible to bring up the fact that he and Nicki Minaj beefed because she said she had a relative in Trinidad who got impotent from the vaccine. I have no idea if this is true or false. I just wanted to bring that story back up.
All right, well, Alex Marlow, it's a pleasure. We just talked about Anthony Fauci, Nicki Minaj, and impotency. So thank you. I appreciate that. Great to have you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, new domestic abuse allegations against Ohio Congressman Max Miller. It is sparking political fallout. So who is calling for his resignation? We're back in a moment.
Nice.
The heartland of America, Madison, Indiana, everybody. Welcome back to American Sunrise. Great to have you with us this morning. All right, so a political controversy is growing in Ohio after Republican Congressman Max Miller facing allegations of domestic abuse. It's coming from his ex-wife, Emily Moreno. Now, the accusations are drawing a public response from her father. That would be Republican Senator Bernie Moreno, who is calling on Miller to resign from Congress. So the wife, Emily Moreno, has accused Miller of alleged abusive behavior during their marriage. Miller is denying all the allegations, calling them false. Take a look.
These are incredibly serious criminal accusations. And if these accusations were true, I would be in jail. I would be. My former wife would not have been offering to cook me dinner and inviting me to playgrounds. Think about that. And I certainly would not have joint custody of my daughter.
Well, the controversy has drawn a lot of reaction. Dr. GT, look, these are allegations that I'm about to read, but this is some serious stuff. I mean, physical assault, shoving her against a wall during a custody exchange, pouring hot water on her chest and stomach from a skillet and holding a gun to her head, and then child abuse allegation, inflicting injuries on their younger daughter, including a fractured collarbone. Look, I guess my first question is, how in the world did he actually become a congressman? I'm trying to kind of understand that. But there's a lot of unanswered questions, Dr. G, on this.
Yeah, this is, you know, the Morenos are personal friends of ours. My son worked on his grassroots team to elect him in Ohio. So I've told this story before, but just to encapsulate very quickly, I did a breakdown with my son after he came back from working on Moreno's campaign, because when you work that closely, that intimately, 24 hours a day under the highest pressure, you know every secret about that person. And when he came home, I sat him down at our kitchen table and I said, tell me the skinny on Moreno. And my son said, he ruined me, because I will never be able to work for another politician as long as I live, because that man has steely character. And it is true. Like Jack, my son has looked at interviewing with other people and just can't, because he said, I just want him to be Bernie. I just want him to be Bernie. And because he was just such a good, the highest moral character. So I'm telling you what, right now, outside of my own family, Senator Moreno could say just about anything, and I'm probably going to believe it.
Well, I'll just add, these are allegations, and they're serious allegations, absolutely serious allegations. And I will say that the House has mechanisms in place to sanction people for these sorts of allegations. There are already some mechanisms in place, and I think lawmakers in the House probably need to seriously consider whether they might want to pursue some of those sanctions that are already in place, that are in the rules.
I just want to understand, Gina, what you're saying. You're saying because Bernie Moreno is a man of character, you're saying that would apply as well to his daughter, Emily?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
That's fine. I'm not disagreeing with you.
You know how much I love both of your children as well, because I know you and love you and know your character. And if this were you saying it about your child, I'm saying I would believe it. I would believe it, because I know you, I know your hearts, I know your character, and because it's Bernie Moreno, he's not just some senator. I'm saying I have personal testimony from my son who still gets emotional when he talks about the character of this human. And if that's the man that raised her, chances are. And let me say one more thing, and I'm sorry, and maybe this was me looking for it, so take it for what it's worth. But you know, my background is psychology. I watched the body language.
Yes.
Here's the thing you can always look at when you're listening to someone say something. Incongruity. When their emotions don't fit with what they're saying, when their body language, there's just something about it that grates on you. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it.
Oh, Gina, that's why I said yes, because I was my point. I was going to bring that up, not from a clinical perspective, but just from my spidey sense of watching it. That body language, it just felt off. The eyes were looking in places that it shouldn't have been looking. It was a gulpathon. It was not good.
If we had more time to break it down, I could break down about 10 different things I saw in there that really would lead me to want to give this person a lie detector test, among other things.
That's actually be fascinating, actually. We should probably look at that. All right. We have more American Sunrise after the break, everybody. I'm off. I'm off to see the wizard.
Say that again. Markets, Gina sponsor what?
There's just so much happening right now.
Yes.
Oh.
Gotcha. And then we're just teasing out normal. Gotcha. Okay.
By the way, one interesting thing I just want to say about jury duty. When the initial vote was taken on guilty or not guilty, it was 5-4-3, 5 guilty, 4 not guilty, 3 undecided. And the 4 that said not guilty, all 4 were women. And that kind of surprised me, actually. Maybe it shouldn't have, but it did.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. That's what I would have guessed.
Oh my gosh. And we men in the room were like, wait, what? I mean, it was very interesting.
Good morning, Dr. Tapper.
Good morning.
Did
Good to be
things
here.
change after you guys got pizza?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I called him and tried to get him to serve you fried chicken, but...
It was.
So you don't even do chicken wings, David? Like
I'll do chicken wings. Chicken wings, that's different.
Chicken wings?
That's different.
No, I don't care. You have to like fried chicken.
Oh my gosh, you're banning me from chicken.
Yeah,
liking.
I'm banning you from chicken all around until you eat fried chicken and love it.
Our country is under attack. The radical left woke agenda is infiltrating our schools, our houses of worship, our government, and our media. The younger generation needs you, the older, wiser generation, to stand up and lead us back to the right path. Think you're too old to fight back? Think again. Stand up right now and join AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC will give you the training and resources to become a citizen soldier so you can fight for the country you love before it's too late. AMAC is more than 2 million patriots strong. You need to be the next to raise your hand and join. Will you defend democracy? Will you fight for the nation you love? Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.us/RAV. Time is running out. Stand up and fight today.
Make America great again.
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. As you can see, pre-market trading looking pretty good on all of the major indices. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are currently in the green. Hopefully it stays that way once the opening bell officially rings. We'll take it to New York for that opening bell ringing here in just a little bit. But first, let's take you down to the Palm Beaches. Dr. Gina standing by there. G, good morning.
Well, good morning, Terrance. Health and Wellness Company is drawing interest for its line of daily supplements, Zelenko Labs. This is the maker of Z-Stack. It says its products are formulated to support immune health and ingredients including vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc, and quercetin. The company was founded around the legacy of Dr. Vladimir Zelenko and offers a range of wellness products. Let's bring in the wellness doctor, Dr. Ben Tapper. Dr. Tapper, I love the idea of stacks because for me, this is the greatest stress of my day. Honestly, is figuring out which supplements to take in what order, making sure I didn't forget. I literally have, my kitchen looks like a pharmacy, Dr. Tapper, but you've got the solution.
Yeah, most people have no idea where to turn when it comes to this type of supplement, and we're heading into the so-called flu season right now, which is what I call the vitamin D and zinc deficiency season. And so this is why Dr. Zelenko formulated this specific supplement the way he did, because it's so important right now that we focus on the real root cause of why we are sick during the so-called flu season. And this is why it is such a heavy hitter. And this is why I think everyone should be on the zinc and quercetin, vitamin D. Unless we get 30 minutes of summer sunlight, we are going to be deficient. And we need to move away from that into sufficiency. And we do that with the Z-Stack.
Yeah, that sunlight is so important. And it's so reprehensible, Dr. Tapper, how so many people, the woke want to control us left in this country have tried to convince us to stay out of the sun all the time, when indeed that's a lot of what we need. Tell us about Dr. Zelenko.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Talarico was one who stood in the gap during COVID. He didn't want to just rush to a vaccine, or he didn't want to rush to a pharmaceutical. So this is why he formulated this specific supplement to be geared towards really focusing on toxicity and deficiency and moving away from that into purity and sufficiency. And Dr. Talarico was brilliant. He understood the physiological aspects of why we are sick. And really, he focused on the root cause here, not just treating the symptoms. So many people, and especially our establishment, our whole establishment, our medical establishment is a disease management system. This isn't, they're not focused on true health or wellness, or they're not focused on getting to the root cause. Dr. Talarico understood that we need to get to the root cause, which is always toxicity and deficiency. He was so brilliant that he understood the physiological aspects of why we are sick. Yeah. This is why he specifically formulated the Z-Stack to target those certain deficiencies and get to the root cause. And this is why it's so important that we are on this supplement, especially this time of year, to help prevent that sickness.
It's all about inflammation. We're reading more and more about it, but what's causing all of this inflammation, and how does this counter that?
Well, first off, 80% of Americans are suffering with a chronic disease associated with poor lifestyle choices. We're overfed, but we're undernourished. We're eating foods that are nutritionally bankrupt. They might look better, smell better, taste better, but we are living in a world right now where we have more stress than ever before, more physical, more chemical, more emotional stresses than ever before. And again, our system here, our medical system, is not addressing these causes. They're just, it's like, your check engine light's on in your car. You're going to that establishment. They just unplug the check engine light, and they're treating the symptoms, and you're going to have bigger problems down the road. So yes, we are more inflamed, more chronically ill than ever before. More people are fatigued than ever before, and they don't know why. We're told that we're sick because of bad genes or bad germs or bad luck, but that's really just bad science. We need to focus on the root cause, which is always toxicity and deficiency, and moving away from that into purity and sufficiency. And we do that with good supplementation, good lifestyle choices, and focusing on that root.
Well, I was a big fan of the good doctor, and very sad to hear of his passing. And I'm really glad that you are continuing his legacy, and I'm very excited to try this. So thank you so much, Dr. Van Tapper.
Yeah, God bless you. Thank you now.
God bless you too. All right, use the QR code on your screen right now. Use the promo code RAV. That'll give you 20% off. Let's head back to Terrance. He's in Denver for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, which is, of course, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
Forbes is at the podium this morning. The bell is ringing. The markets just opened. Here's a quick check of how things are looking. You probably just heard it moments ago. The bell rang there. All right, guys, let's pull up the big board. There we go. It actually rang a minute ago, but we'll be playing it there, I guess. All right, here's how the markets are looking, guys. As you can see, the major indices, the Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are all in the green at the moment. Really, just the bottom of our screen here is in the red. But in general, it's a good start to trading for this trading week, this first day of trading of the week. We, of course, will continue to monitor all of this for you throughout the day. In the meantime, I can't speak. We're taking a quick break. But first, Rav's very own Eric Bolling back with another Main Street America event. General admission is free, and the attendees will experience 2 live national broadcasts. Here's a preview.
From packed crowds to unforgettable conversations, Eric Bolling's Main Street America tour has been an incredible journey across the country.
Make sure you subscribe to Real America's Voice, pro-Trump, pro-conservative, patriotic network, more so than anyone I've ever worked at.
And now it's time for the next stop, Las Vegas. Join Eric Friday, August 7th as he broadcasts live from Joel's Chop House inside the Hearn Hotel, bringing you the stories, the voices, and the energy that have made this tour such a success.
I think you are the new America's sheriff. Your numbers are incredible.
Tune in for this special live broadcast beginning at 1 p.m. local time, or join us in person. But tickets won't last long. Scan the QR code right now to secure your spot.
Beautiful place downstairs. We got some live music going. We got this here going. We have a big crowd a little bit later.
Don't miss it. Friday, August 7th, only on Real America's Voice.
Neil, good morning.
Hey, guys.
Good morning, Neil.
Hey there. Waiting for the rain. Not yet.
Yeah.
How's the food, by the way, G?
It's very good. I cannot complain about the biscuits and gravy. They were fantastic. And the Grand Slam, it's just, it's great food. But I was really glad that Dr. Tapper didn't know I was eating that. So bad. I really do eat better than that. And I definitely feed my animals much better than Denny's.
Oh, no. Trust me, we know you do. You've got a long track record.
What about it? The anaconda eats pinkies. Y'all know what a pinky is?
What are pinkies? Are that little rats?
Baby mice.
Baby mice?
Yeah, it's really sad. Pardon?
How?
Pinky, little pinky mice. They're dead and they're frozen, and you just drop them in there, and he eats about one every 2 weeks.
Oh, that's
and for our audience who doesn't know, I have a purple anaconda. My daughter, actually. Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. We thank you for joining us this morning. We invite you to hop in our conversation on Getter and Rumble. It is time now to take the political pulse of America. Here's the beat today. The new AP North poll shows immigration remains President Trump's strongest issue, especially among his supporters compared with the economy, Iran, and healthcare. The survey finds 39% of Americans approve of his handling of immigration, while his approval on the economy and healthcare remains lower. The poll also shows about 3 in 10 Americans approve of Trump's handling of Iran. 3 in 10. The results show approval of the president's approach to the issue remains low, with divisions among voters, including Republicans. Let's bring in David and Terrance for discussion. Terrance, I'm not really surprised by this. I mean, immigration, that was a campaign promise, and he kept it in no uncertain terms, and I think he is to be credited with that. Also, though, it kind of feels like he set the bar really high for himself, because he came in hot on immigration and stopped it dead in its tracks. And I think then everybody thought, well, I can't wait to see what he does on the economy and the America First stuff and all the other sort of campaign promises, Epstein, and all the rest of it. And then when that wasn't the same kind of coming in hot as he did on immigration, there's something for people. It's almost like, punished for doing a great job on immigration.
No, I get your point. But I would say that nowadays, immigration isn't even an issue, I think, for so many Americans, because the president has stopped the flow of illegals coming into this country. And he really, I think we've all seen the major crackdowns in cities across the country from ICE and beyond when it comes to arresting immigrants and then even getting them out of this country. So I don't even see immigration being a major issue for Americans anymore, because there's this sense that the president has really handled it and that he's wrapped that up. And as you said, because he's done such a good job and has been so efficient in doing so, maybe there are questions about why he hasn't necessarily been as successful in other things. But from the immigration standpoint, David, I think for many Americans, they feel like it's a done deal, that he's really been able to close our borders and handle that very efficiently.
Well, immigration's been his number one accomplishment. I think that is 100% accurate. When it got to the interior enforcement, it got a little dicey, but that's only because the courts wouldn't allow him to do what he wanted to do. And quite frankly, the courts wouldn't allow him to do a lot of stuff from an America First standpoint that he wanted to do. So I think we need to cut the president some slack. I'm not saying you guys need to cut him some slack, but I think overall critics in the America First movement who might be frustrated with him not doing enough on the America First agenda need to cut him some slack. He tried. The court stopped him on a lot of stuff. whether it be tariffs and some other things. But also, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. This idea that just because we're in Iran or just because we took out Maduro in Venezuela and the Donroe Doctrine and all that, doesn't mean he's not doing things for this country. It doesn't mean he's not doing America First policies. I mean, I don't know. To me, you can do both. And I don't know why it's always been an either or. Like, in other words, we're in Iran, so therefore the America First agenda is kaput. This is the way a lot of the isolationist crowd, I know you don't like me saying isolationist, non-interventionist, whatever you want to call it, crowd, it's like an either or for them. Why is it always an either or? Why does it have to be? That's a whole nother discussion. But that's a whole nother conversation. That's a biscuits and gravy conversation. No doubt. All right. U.S. officials say Iran-linked actors are suspected of being behind a cyber attack campaign targeting water systems, or as I say, because I'm from New York, water systems in several states. The incidents targeted municipal water operations, with authorities warning hackers appeared to be focusing on industrial control systems used to manage critical infrastructure. So President Trump has disputed the assessment that Iran was responsible. He's actually instead criticized Minnesota leadership over the incidents. Minnesota officials have pushed back on that characterization. The FBI and other federal agencies are investigating. Officials say there is no evidence the incidents compromised drinking water safety, but the attacks are raising new concerns about cyber threats to American infrastructure. All right, let's bring in RAV DC correspondent. He's an infrastructure on this show. That would be Neil McCabe. Neil, have you been infiltrated by the Iranians? All right, how's your water system?
They rocketed me all through my deployment, but my water was fine and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
However, I will say this. Water is a big deal in the Middle East and to Middle Eastern people, Arabs, Persians, Bedouins. Water is... It takes on, not only do you need it for drinking and washing and cooking, but also, it has a symbolic meaning. So the idea that a Middle Eastern actor would focus on water makes sense to me. There was a confirmation of Iranian attack, and there was a hacker team in 23 that went after water systems in Pennsylvania, and we're going to have to see how this shakes out. Obviously, we have to be concerned, but it also falls back on the fact that because these are local systems controlled by municipalities, you can't attack the entire water system at once because it's so decentralized. In other countries, the water supply is more centralized, and so you basically have a situation where it has one neck to be cut, whereas we have that sort of that built-in defense of being so decentralized.
Good point.
Hey, Neil, I'm really watching what's happening over at the Senate right now, as that is the only body still in session. I think Friday they will wrap up for the August. You're laughing. Yeah, I almost want to laugh to keep from crying myself. So, look. We're hearing that there's some sort of funding deal that has been reached. A vote's going to happen this week to basically keep the government open beyond September 30th. In fact, it would go all the way past the midterm elections into December 1st. What are you hearing specific to whether this is really going to get over the finish line or if it's a lot of hot air that's being blown there on the Senate side of the Capitol?
Well, yeah, obviously there's no shortage of hot air on Capitol Hill. I mean, if you want to see wind turbines rock, you would set up wind turbines on Capitol Hill. What the Senate is trying to do is they're trying to create a reconciliation package that can't be filibustered, right? So it can pass with a simple majority, not the 60-vote threshold to end debate. And they're going to try to throw in as much as they can. Obviously, the Pentagon is concerned about munitions. Obviously, they want to keep the budget. They don't want the budget to be an issue in the midterm, so they'll kick that can to the other side of the election. And also, they could take some of the Save America Act programs and initiatives and make it a good idea for other people to participate, like local and state governments. by giving them federal money. And so you can't tell somebody to do something in a reconciliation or a budget bill, but you can say, if you do it, we'll give you money. If you don't do it, we'll cut off your money. And so they're figuring out how to do that. And of course, it all has to pass through the parliamentarian who was appointed years ago under Democrats. Thune has kept that parliamentarian, and that parliamentarian has routinely ruled against conservative and MAGA initiatives, which makes one wonder if that's why Thune keeps them on.
Hey, Neil, just a quick follow-up. Sorry, Dr. Gina, I just want to follow up. So if, in fact, the Senate does get this over the finish line, they pass it, there's talk that there's some changes even from the House bill, which means that this would ultimately have to go back to the House. Do you think there's going to be this bicameral fight between the two bodies ultimately in order to get this ultimately on President Trump's desk?
Years ago, it was very common for the House and the Senate to pass different bills, and they would go to a conference and they would hash out a new bill, which would then have to be passed by both chambers again before it was sent to the White House. But in the last 10, 15 years, what you've seen is sort of back channeling where the House and Senate work out their differences in the cloakrooms so that you don't have that extra step. So I would expect the House negotiators to work with the Senate and come up with something. And then, but, you know, it could be a binary choice where they just send it to the House approves it, and then the House doesn't make any changes, so it doesn't have to go back to the Senate. But in recent times, they've tried to work this stuff out in the cloakrooms, Terrance.
Okay.
Neil, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had a fiery exchange with CNN's Dana Bash on vaccine hesitancy. If you did not get on the internet the entire weekend, you may have missed this. Here we are.
You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it
it like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science. You and I come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not
all
debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts.
This was so good. Your reaction?
I thought it was awesome. I thought it was awesome that they let it go for 20 minutes. A lot of times they'll cut to a commercial, or they'll find some way to get out of it when it's going the wrong way against the host. And people have to realize that Dana Bash, like all these hosts, you know, she has a plug in her ear, and there are people looking stuff up and telling her what to say the whole time. So Bobby Kennedy is going there, you know, toe to toe with her. But he's just on his own wits, where she's got a whole team behind her trying to feed her and help her and tell her what to ask. And it just kept going the wrong way for her. And I give CNN a lot of credit for letting that camera roll.
Yeah, I have to say, Neil, I was a little surprised because it's very unusual for a host, especially somebody who's been at it as long as Dana Bash, to let the table be turned on them where they become the interviewee. But that's exactly what happened in this interview. Kudos to Kennedy.
Yeah, and she started off with that ridiculous gotcha, right? You know, you criticize Fauci. Fauci worked for President Trump, so isn't President Trump to blame? Which is like what CNN does all the time, and they're just so smug and rhetorically confident. But they're going against Bobby Kennedy, who is a brilliant attorney, and he made his living as an attorney for decades, and so she picked the wrong guy.
Well, he's a pretty well-studied scientist as well. All right, Neil McCabe, we appreciate you. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Neil.
By the way, if you're 64 or older, this is something you want to hear. Medicare is complicated. We all know that, but it doesn't have to be so stressful. There you go. Chapter is the only Medicare advisor that compares every plan nationwide. On the phone with you, they'll take a look at your doctors, your prescriptions, your priorities, and they're going to help you understand what you actually have and whether something better is available. No pressure, no agenda. After one call, Jody said the experience was a blessing. She was blown away by how knowledgeable and honest they were. If you're already on the right plan, they're going to tell you that too. If you're not, Chapter is going to help you switch. Folks who found new plans with Chapter have saved an average of $1,100 per year. That's a lot of money. Call 843-MED-HELP. Take 20 minutes and see for yourself. 843-MED-HELP. It's completely free. I think you'll be glad you did it. More American Sunrise after the break.
Don, can you hear me? T. Bates here. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. It's always good to see you.
Well, you too, buddy. You too.
Your beaver is shining extra bright this morning.
It's an old brown beaver.
I will never, for the rest of my life, I will always remember that.
For the rest of my life, I'll always remember the time that we were up in North Carolina at the Trump rally.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
And it was your first exposure to touching beavers.
Yes. I was like, oh, my career is over. Like, this is
I know, man. It's
over.
So epic. We probably replayed that a dozen times on the show.
Oh, my goodness. I love you for it, my friend.
Hey, you too, buddy. You too.
Hey, so remind me, I'm pretty sure I'm right with this. The title, excuse me, of the song and the song itself is really rooted in a real life event, correct? It's based on real life events. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep. Extortion
That's probably where I'm going to
17.
start.
That's actually the call sign for that particular Chinook helicopter that went down on a mission in Afghanistan. So Extortion 17 is not the mission. It's the call sign for the helicopter that went down.
For that helicopter. Gotcha.
Also,
right,
just
by.
make sure a lot
ahead.
of hosts have been saying that
Let's spill some tea.
This segment is sponsored by Artillery Tea Company. It's veteran-owned and it's built for those who serve. Scan the QR code that's right there at the bottom of your screen. Do it right now for a special RAV offer on their new iced tea starter kits. The kit includes 30 total servings of their top-tiered 5 iced teas blends that are designed for maximum bold flavor. Plus, you'll get a custom sticker and a cold brewing instruction kit for making the perfect iced tea like you've never tasted before. It's simple and it is fast. Normally, this is a $55 value, but today you can get it for $29.95 with free shipping. Again, this is a limited time only offer. Scan the QR code right now. It's there at the bottom of your screen, and get this deal before it ends. All right, let's get right into what's in the cup today, and that would be a new song from Real America's Music that is really sparking a conversation about service, sacrifice, and remembrance. The artist behind this song, Extortion 17, is Don Nguyen. He says the track was created to honor those who have served, those who made the ultimate sacrifice, and the values that define America. This track is available for download right now. Take a listen to the story behind it.
Some stories deserve more than headlines. They deserve to be remembered. Extortion 17 honors the 30 American service members and 8 Afghan partners who made the ultimate sacrifice when their helicopter was shot down during a mission in Afghanistan on August 6, 2011. Through powerful orchestration and heartfelt emotion, composer Don Nguyen pays tribute to their courage, their service, and the families who continue to carry their legacy. From Real America's Music, this is Extortion 17 by Don Nguyen. Download it now.
Don joins me now to talk a bit more about the song. Brother, it's always good to see you. One of the things I appreciate about this song is that it's inspired by real life events and real heroes.
Yeah, it really is. And Terrance, good morning to you too, sir. Extortion 17, ladies and gentlemen, will be August 6th, this week. August 6th will be the 15th anniversary of this tragedy, in which it was the single greatest moment in the Afghanistan war that we lost the greatest number of warriors at one time. Sadly, 17 of those were what we would consider top-tier elite Navy SEALs. And then 13 others were Army and Air Force support staff. It did include a working dog named Bart. So we lost a bunch of them that tragic early morning of August 6th. The sad thing about this, Terrance, and we covered this past weekend on our show, is that absolutely nothing was right. And I don't mean that it didn't go right, that it was some kind of failure on the part of our warriors. It wasn't right. These guys should have never left the base in that helicopter. Starting from that, It was a lie. And then once you start lying, you've got the cover up. And this goes back to the Obama administration. We believe this was payback for bin Laden's assassination. And because, sadly, SEAL Team 6 was outed. So we decided to put this song together. We've been working on this for about 8 months. And we also, Donna and I decided there's no way we could possibly reap any monetary benefit from this. So all of our royalties that are earned off the downloads of this song are going to go to Operation 300. And you guys can go to that website. It's op300.org. And that's OP.
Op300.org.
Yeah, op300.org.
Op300.org.
Yep. Every penny that we earn off our royalties is going to this for the next 7 decades.
All right, folks, we want you to go to op300.org right now, download the song, contribute. Don, excuse me, I'm obviously getting sick again.
Well, hold on, Terrance, you got to go to iTunes to download it. You want to learn about Op300, go to op300.org, but download it on iTunes.
Okay. There you go, folks. Download it on iTunes. Make sure you support the song. Don, you are keeping those heroes' memory alive with this song. As always, brother, I love you and I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. See you.
All right. We'll talk soon. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, David Brody standing by with the story that he's keeping his eye on. It's the one to watch, and it's next. And hopefully I can get over this cough. My apologies.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, you were gone? Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, that's right. You were still in jury sequestration. I don't know if sequestration is still a word or.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. It is now time for the one to watch. And Debro, what are you keeping your eye on this morning? I can't even remember what we decided for this block. I'm ready to go.
Well, take a look at this, G. Actually, you saw it and everybody else saw it this week. It was MTG's post over the weekend.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, we got to get to the picture. Don't worry about that, which he wrote. We said no more foreign wars, and we meant it and supported Donald Trump. Because, and she goes on to say, because he made that promise, but he's betrayed us all. Our commitment is America first for all Americans, right?